Oh man, hey, how's it going, guys? Severio here. Gonna do something that I was kind of planning on doing for a while. I didn't do it last season because it would have been a retrospect aspect. However, since the NBPL season for 2024 has now just begun with spring season, what I'm gonna do is any days that happen, if I can keep up with it with time's sake, I'm going to just go over the matches, just to give you guys a good overview of it. And of course, coming off the players and coming off the rip, it's also going to give you a better understanding about where these guys are kind of like coming off on in their play style, or rather just to see their decision making and how it kind of comes through. I would recommend watching live broadcasts as they come out because, our wonderful casters coming into each and every single one of these days, including myself, but also to no avail between, Raven Creatives, Dunkin' Donuts, Moxie, Runekeeper, Dobby, Seb Guy, Jake, aka Hip Rain. I'm not sure if we're gonna have some surprise guests coming out for the aroma things, but I really recommend seeing every single one of those days if you can. Give them the support that you can. It just comes out a long way between everything in between. However, I want to make sure and going over the VODs themselves. It also gives you guys a quick, able-bodied sense of just being able to get just be concise with it, right? It's like, okay, let me see what they got and what they choose. Now, I'm going to start these rounds off of the post round picks. Reason for that is just because, the round picks themselves go off the rotation between ABC, three sets of groups of four players in solos, and they choose which characters can be available for them, or rather to be their choice pick nonetheless. So, starting us off on, we're going to start with round one, going off of this pick pool. CDY is Panda Man, as formerly known. He is going to be into the Wolves team roster right now, and he's going to be able to participate. And he's playing Farius Shen coming out here. Wang Liang returning for the champ. Well, coming off of the summer season last season, second place was a very strong point, but he did get griefed by Panda Man into that last final round against Mike. So that was kind of a basis of ouchie ouch. But nonetheless, we want to introduce one of the former NA, current SEA players coming into place, Frostovis, who did make it to J Cup finals last year, and he was able to participate in a tremendous feat and actually bringing V2 Justina back into the fray of understanding. I mean, V2 Justina has, you can see right below it, it has such a strong point of what it can do, mustering up control on characters to who depend on gold focuses, or rather to catch them out of it into that sense scenario. Mike, though, he's playing out here. He is an OUG now. AOW is not seemingly here showing up to the NBPL scene. We do have two new teams between BBE, as we can see below, Roy Shishi actually having that into place. And then with everything coming out, Paste is actually joining into J Team. No longer is there an HLG team that we can see so far. So he joined up with the J Team, the winner squad, and I believe he's going to be, playing out to the hybrid pick maybe. I have to double check to see about that roster choice, but GG Shaw back into the ring of things. We got WBG Spider back in through. EWG's Arano. JJH's XXY. JL's AS. And for today, the final player into the position, former ALL member Jux, now into the TE squad. There's going to be a lot of shifts between here into the trios teams as well. So you're going to see a lot of variation, or a lot of the same thing, I should say, between the variation of characters to be chosen, but the same skill set between F1 and V3 for the various Shens. You're going to see F1, V1 for the Ziping Yings as well. And then obviously Tessa, a lot of Tessa's going to be running the V1 and the F1. After that one patch where the V1 actually gained herself 100 heal for just hitting a target, it is a very important thing to note for that process off this end. So without further ado, let's get it started. And just because, I don't want to co stream or co cast, I'm not going to really do casting as much for these rounds. It's just more so about me being able to go for, just going over the plays and everything of that nature. And I'll try my best not to skip around. There shouldn't be any sort of dead weight material coming off of this end, because there's always something to kind of bring up into the notion of what these players are doing, how they're kind of really wanting to process that into their own picks. So, comfort picks are always going to be a thing. We know Panda Man loves that Tarka. And if Tarkas do show up later on, that's just because someone makes an impact with that choice pick, because Shail has now arrived. You don't see any Shails here, but you can pretty much expect to see new character shenanigans into the upper echelon to the end, just to see how other players want to interact with it. But looking at these spawns right now, TE is going to have Jux spawning right in smack dab into the middle of Plume Castle. So he's waiting that one out. JL's AS going to be over there into what I seem to be the southwestern barracks, maybe northwestern Stadia Tang, north of the Moonfall Pass. He's going to be spawning with Jux. But CDY, Panda Man, GG Shaw, it's going to be a really big spread unless you look into the northeast, where that's where the southwestern barracks are going to have a majority of players. Even Frostivus is going to be spawning right in smack dab in the middle, while Spider's in the ringer. So round one going to begin here. Take a look in the scene about the case scenario. Wing Ling picks up some nunchucks and a really strong parry from Mike. Catches him off guard with everything. One of those moves just keeps full capitalization of the movement coming out from the fan. So Wing is actually going to have full chances of dipping out, scare rushing to the sky. Mike gets himself a little bit more chances of looking to try to capitalize on the close gap. He also has Justina Sharks, the Rhyme Frost Fairy skin. That's pretty good. And he has the crystal for the wings. Really strong. Mike is in a little bit of spot, finds that armor swap, very nicely done. Rushes to the building to find that armor as fast as possible. And he catches him with the uppercut, a very minimal amount of air time, but he was able to take full capitalization off of it. And I think Mike actually might lose Wang Liang. I mean, Wang Liang has a lot of loot to kind of look towards and finding. I mean, Gold Trove right there, could find an armor, but there's nothing there for him. I'm not seeing any armors in the vicinity. And he's trying to open troves, but he's got to be safe while opening troves here, because any micro frame choice of choosing another keyboard bind is going to get him caught out if he's not doing shifts. And nice uppercut. The F1 comes through, or the V1 for Wang, but it's not going to be enough time. First elimination of the season. We're starting off. Well, actually, GG Shaw and Pace actually got eliminations. And just right now, AS has got an elimination off of Frosty. I don't know, Rano's coming up here, but I'm not sure he's going to be wanting to ambush, or he's looking to try to grief bait the Soblum. You hate to see it. That's a good tech. All right, good. That's a good strategy, I should say. You're going to see this staff versus staff action. The fan and the J-Cup was actually one of the most used weapons in solos and trios, so that was actually kind of interesting to see for the stat check. But so is staff in the top 3 choice picks of weapons. Fairy Shen versus Ping Ying. You could see more of a chance for Arana just beating this out, but his ultimate is already being burned down. So the moment that AS finds his chance of getting V3 to try to connect a RB like that, he would be able to be safeguarded. But Arano has that pistol. You can see elimination. Roy Shishi showing up here as the Tessa. He's going to have to be careful here, because Arano is building up rage pretty quickly as can be. When he picked up the Soul Bloom, right, that's 30%. That's not including any sort of damage taken, like those shots that he's taking right now. He's going to be going ahead and, getting his rage back slowly but surely, but he is rocking the common armor. So the amount of value that comes out from even the F1 doesn't come to full scale unless he's able to get a better armor, just to mitigate more damage coming out from Waishishi, or even to the point of just avoiding the damage taken from the enchants. So meaning that if he takes damage when the enchant pops, that he can just try to mitigate just a little bit seconds longer to throw an F1 if he need be. Roishishi, though, has time to reset here, yeah. I think Arano has to loot up this body as fast as possible coming out, but he's going to have to be mindful, because 12 grapples right now, he's good to go there on that front. He's got the armor supplies as well as the vitality / healing berries, but his biggest concern right now is just trying to catch Roishishi out, force the ultimate, might be getting hit. Like, if he iframes the ultimate, it's best case scenario, right? If he forces the ultimate to hit him, then he's going to have to play, sneaky, which means then he has to force the F1 coming out from Roishishi. Nice parry, though. Picks up the staff. V1's at 100%, so Sedate Soul is active if he does get eliminated here. RMB comes out. Roishishi looking for the stone form. Might be getting himself caught out here with those RMBs coming from the fan. No parry opportunity due to that 180 swing back that Roishishi did with the pull sword. The crouch LMBs, the RMB comes out. The V1's iframe dodge. Like I said, he's looking to try to find an opportunity for that. He knows the F1 is down as well, so Arano's looking straight through it. The RMB from the fan doesn't hit, but that vertical pull sword hit comes out for the scare rush and confirms every single one of the fears that Arano was not looking towards. Everything is up for Roishishi. Uses his verticality position to try to get out, forces the enchanted to be disenchanted from just taking the amount of damage he needed. And now Arana might be up onto Roishishi now that he was able to take that one opportunity of having enough time to heal, having the HP necessary. With the F1 mitigation from Ziping, I mean, he's going to take full advantage of that. especially from a pole sword vertical. Mike though up against Jux though is it's gonna be interesting. And Jux is gonna have this enchant on his dime, but Jux can't take any advantage of this because he hasn't seen Mike use his F2, so he has to back off. He's gonna have to scare rush positions here. He's lining it up. He's getting towards trying to buy time, finding an armor. This is like a rinse and repeat from what we saw earlier. Mike though does see Jux find that armor, catches this, sees the dodge opportunity, goes for the jump LMB, bow shot really fast with that swap, gets his third elimination so far. So he's kill leader. And GG Shaw actually picks up, I think, his second elimination just early on. Frosty up against AS over by the Cinnabar Valley. I do think AS has a better chance here. Okay, well, that's a preemptive ult from Frostivus, so he's going to have this armor built up. I think, if anything, coming up for this R&B fan hold check, that's what Frosty might be looking towards. V3 Beacon comes out. Frostivus gets the R&B, goes for the double blue focus release. Now, AS is weird in a bad spot because he's away from his beacon, so if anything gets dangerous, he won't be able to have enough time to get out here. Look, you see that? He needs to buy time to get to the beacon. He gets into his mech. He can take time to heal here, which he will. He has common armor, so he's only going to need one armor powder heal and one healing berry from what we can see. But Frostbite can just ring around this building, just no problem. R&B comes out for the pole sword. AS looks towards himself for the cannon mode. Maybe he's looking for it. There it is, the knockback. But it looks like Frostbite actually sticks to landing, I should say. And there's going to be a soul break opportunity here, but no, confirms the extension off of that cliffside. Hold checks, holds it down, waits for that R&B from the fan, and thinks he's going to anticipate that parry. Again, hold checks, and this is going to be a successful R&B here. And there is going to be a fan coming out. Frostivus is actually going to confirm this kill really quickly. One of these guys is going to get hit. And Frostivus, I think, fully eliminates AS from this round, and he does. Pange. I mean, the Soul Bloom is going to be immediately invested for if he does lose the Romy Yang. Which should be showing up here in a second. We're going to have to take a look in the scene. Mike is waiting one out. Now, Mike is actually able to build up rage while he's getting over there. Or over towards the Romy. This is going to be a Hollow Rod Sunny map. So, if Mike is going to be, cautious, it's just timing how his ultimate and knowing that his enemy's abilities are used. But Romy Yang, he's got a full plethora of weapons in his arsenal that he loves using, especially that pole sword. GG Shaw gets a nice parry off of this end. He, instead of going for the single hit from the fan, an R&B blue focuses more because he knows the F2 is going to come out from Mike. Nice chance for GG Shaw just to spam these R&Bs because sometimes doing what your opponent may not think is best case scenario. But here's the problem. GG Shaw has a big worry here. We've seen this in the J Cup where Frostivus was able to use his V2 against a Fairy Shen F1. There it is. First slash is going to come out. The F1, though, is preempted. The V3 beacon comes out. GG Shaw, he could be in a weird spot because Mike can get a full 3 seconds here of making it work for that HP bar and burning it down. GG Shaw, though, is not going to have much to worry about, though, after that point. And, of course, if everything comes out to GG Shaw's benefit, it's just buying out time to get some heals back while Mike is doing the same, which is trying to get the D-mech off. There's a cannon shot. And I think GG Shaw, Mike is not going to have much opportunity except for going for a neutral opportunity for an uppercut for a grapple extension. He needs to burn that F1, though, first. No parries are coming out. Oh, my goodness. GG Shaw spamming all the... Oh, my gosh. Even Mike is like, bro, why are you spamming all these blues? 1, 2, 3s are released those, but Mike is going to go for the Shadow Step to avoid the bow shot. And as I suspected, no one's going to have any sort of way of fighting that out. The Fairy Shed mech is such a strong, I don't want to fight you point. You can full commit. It's a high risk, high reward. If Mike had gotten that V2 freeze and went full in for bow shots at his face, he could off of the opposite end of the room. But the only problem coming out of that is that, okay, if you end up messing up those shots, where does that stand? Because then obviously it comes into a point where you're in the full frontal view of the V3 of the cannon shots coming out. So Mike, he played it safe there. He tried to go through, but as much time is wasted from Fairy Shen afterwards, once everyone's both reset, it's going to be like a whole 40-second fight again. And there's only 30 seconds at that point. Roy Shishi, though, finds Mike here. They're going to go by the pool for the Soul Land crossover. A lot of the Jades, well, not all, a lot. All the Jades are still available for the NBPL Week 1. So I'm not sure if we're going to update that after the Soul Land crossover ends because even though the Nier Automata collab happened, right, they had the Secret Corridor. They most likely had the Northeastern Lunar Tier area where they can give Lunar Tiers towards the statue, which gave them a hefty amount of loot into the Northeast. Romy Yang depletion is coming out here. Frostbus picks up second elimination? Question mark. Gonna see that coming out later. I don't know. XXY though, he spawns in after Romy Yang depletion. He has 3 minutes. He's chasing up Paste. Pace is gonna crouch, cancels out the neutral opportunity there. XXY throws his stanchion. Obviously, XXY might be looking towards just catching a parry. Not gonna happen though. Eats up that blue focus, loses all his armor. Has a chance of using F1 here to try to get some. Yep, there it is. Mitigation throws the blue focus are horizontal, and I think Paces might be looking for this chance for the 1-2-3s into the corner. He's just baiting it out. You see it happen. Now's the ultimate cast. XSY was not anticipating Mike. Mike can actually go ahead for the confirmation kill. There it is. R&B to the fan. Mike picks it up. Big upset coming out from XXY from that kill steal for the third party. But hey, sometimes it happens. Pace, though, is saved by the bell. Mike can eat this soul bloom, get 30% rage back, and get an ultimate. Look at that. Looks for the pulse sword, tries to find the levity towards the body, but this is that risky play right there. Cancels ult just in time because he knew that stomp was going to happen. And I think Pace is just going to have enough time to heal 1 armor powder, but that's going to be it. We're going to see Pace utilize that R&B spam again. Mike gets the high ground, has a better position of scaling over this wall with no fear of hidden misdirections. Horizon comes out. Oh, we released those, Mike? Back to back? So the reason you see V, oh wait, hold on, let's see. Arano actually wanted to try to contest this. Maybe he does have a bounty on him, and I think Arano still needs a soul bloom. So if Arano's gonna be going out here for the Romy Yang depletion, right now's the time. And Mike, I think, is the only Justina into this round. So as you can see, it's like you know who it is by the time that you die to them or you kill them. Yeah, Arano's really forcing this out. Nice horizontal hold check. Oh, scare rush. The pulse sword scare rush is so sublime, especially like with the great sword as well. But the benefit of the pulse sword is just the quick maneuverability that you can do with it. Arana gets caught with that scare rush though. Scare rush to the sky might be giving himself some time to reset. Mike actually finds a common armor swap after that timing. He tried to finds Arano, gets a jabbing actually to be revealed in what it's in his kit. Nice jabbing again, bow shot a 4th right, and Arano actually sees his chance of escaping because a third party comes in here from Jux. And Jux is going to back off, uses V1. Never mind, no backing off. He wants a full commit towards this. Mike is going to look for verticality. This is kind of like the best case scenario on how to fight Tessas to deny them to being, to enable themselves to get a free blue focus, setting yourself up for a neutral combo setup. Mike might be, looking to try to get back to his purple armor, though. That's his main concern. He just lost it on the rooftop after doing a swap, but tries to return and back to it. Arano just dipped. He's gone. He wants to dip out, but he wants to re-engage because I'm pretty sure he's still rocking the realm of Yang depletion. Talking about Romy Yang, it is spawning in here in just a second. GG Shaw is actually waiting it out. You can see the shadows coming out from Sunwing. What's interesting to note is that 9 players on the board still to this point. Frostivus is going to have a gold fan from his previous Romy Yang win, or rather parry if he had lost, if he had won that, an outside fight, or just getting a parry outright. Nice mid-air swaps between both these players for the range shots. You can see how much to influence one or the other it comes out of it. Frostivus really looks towards, especially coming out from the top tier players, right? And Mike having that, that status of being that player that, even before he was able to play in the league, he wanted, he was making his rounds. This is dangerous for Frostivus. He has to, pop ult, but here's the chance for a freeze from Mike. He's trying to confirm an opportunity here. Misses the first one. Tries to go for the parry the second one. The F1 comes out for the mitigation. I'm not sure if Frostivus is going to be safe here or going to be caught out. Swap going to come out here for the staff swap, and I think Frostivus gets frozen, but I'm not sure if OUG Mike is looking to try to extend this stanchion. Not going to happen, but he is going to go for the bow shot. There's a vertical fan to be dodged and another vertical fan to be just thrown out there for the haymaker. F1 to give the mitigation and the heal over time. Those ticks are going to really do Frostivus good here. But he's got to be careful about his blue focuses game because he just threw a horizontal. Now a jabbing clink is going to happen. Another LMB to the LMBs, and that's all that Mike needed. Frostivus is going to be looking to try to figure if he needs to go back for that Soul Bloom at the Cinnabar Valley, if it's still there. And Mike is going to have a gold staff now. Bro, that's his best weapon. I mean, that's a strong solos weapon, first off. So, I mean, he's going to have that. Very nice. Yeah, Frostbite's going back for the Cinnabar Valley Soul Bloom. Luckily, it's still there. I hope. I hope. Yeah, it's still there. Has that insurance policy. Mike has 6 kills, guys. It's kind of crazy too. We haven't seen anything coming out from Spider. And just for like reference point, CDY lost his roaming page. Just for reference point, Spider actually came out from from the beginning, but he's just getting his placement points now. I'm not sure. He's fighting right now against Mike over by the Southwestern Barracks. This Lion Tiger's prowess buff is it's the reason for its usage, just to heal over time and being able to deny any third parties, and actually giving a heavy stagger to third parties, deducting 20% of their HP, right? And just putting a psychological tactic of just showing, yeah, I am next to you, So, Spider, though, he has 45%. He is just trying to buy time near a tower. We've seen this action over and over again. It's the ring around the rosy, We're on the carousel. But Spider, it can eat up and chunk up a lot of range damage just doing this over and over again, because players can just take the time of just realizing that pattern, how he's moving, especially with the dagger fan. Oh my goodness, what a scare rush. Mike gets that kill and picks up the Soblum. And I think Variation, Arano just dips out here. Or actually not Arano, I think it was Wang Liang? Could be. Not Wang Liang. Definitely not Arano. Both of those guys are playing Zipings. Might have been GG Shaw. Who's on Blista? Of course it is GG Shaw. Yeah, Wang Liang actually picks up the purple armor from Spider's body. Frostifus is closing in. CDY, that's who it was. So Panda Man, aka CDY, name change. Just a heads up. And CDY is going to be looking to try to lock down Arano's Scare Rush here. That burn is going to hurt, especially if Arano wants to throw an F1. Nice parry. Oh my goodness, Scare Rush comes out. No stacker though coming out from that. Interestingly enough, Panda Man gets caught here for the V1 enchant. Now Panda Man gets back to the beacon. Ooh, maybe he's not looking to try to go to the beacon. I don't know why he's distancing himself away from it. Perhaps just to make sure that he doesn't have to invest into it. He's staying close by to it now. It's just he was just trying to create distance between him and Jux and Arano, because Jux was just waiting out the enchant in case he wanted to disenchant. But Arano actually gets caught into the disenchant after a midair stagger. Nice horizontal. But it looks like CDY is going to be walking this knockback for Jux to not be able to take any sort of points. Because Arano right now, right? Burn. He has no ultimate. His F is down for another 5 seconds, and he gets parried. And as a result, jump LMB, CDY gets the elimination. 2 eliminations so far. Picks up the Soblum. V3 Beacon is going to go for a stagger with those RMBs from the dual blades, and then Crotch LMB is coming out. Jux is looking for this horizontal. Again, this time, though, CDY is dipping out. I'm not sure if he noticed if anybody is out there, but he's just playing the safe game. Just fully safety reset, because he knows Jux had to use his ultimate once prior, and then he used his ultimate again to kill off Arano. But he pushed him off of Arano when that time came. So CDY just takes that chance. Able-bodied as it comes out. But CDY has 80% on his ultimate. He's not nothing to worry about for the next beacon drop. If he takes a little bit of damage, he deals a little bit of damage, he should be able to get that rage back up. I don't know how many of these players are running any sort of hybrid choices of their talent glyph boards. Talent, it's a good topic of conversation because they are going to change that into the future. But for right now, we are still rocking the old school, energy, probably, maybe some skill cooldown, maybe some grapple distance. That's really the only things that get shifted out. Depending on the character you play, though, hyper builds could be a place. Roy Shishi actually right next to Mike. I'm not sure if Mike is like ignoring Roy Shishi just because he's like, I don't want to fight this guy to spy, or he just wants to push this opponent or the the Morris Westing box. Nice gold swap. GG Shaw though picks up the gold armor, has a gold Hong sword, has 9 grapples. Might be looking to try to heal. This is going to be number 5. 5 armor powders are left. Gold pair of nunnies gets picked up by Mike, so he has 2 gold weapons minimum in his pocket right now. And that's just a scene of the nunnies and a staff. That's really good, because if he gets a full Binding Fury meter, which is the meter in the middle of the nunchuck bar, he could just meter dump someone after a V2 freeze. So we should see. GG Shaw though finds a bush, finds Wang. Wang Liang is just trying to back out here completely. GG Shaw just going to pick up some supplies from that box if there's any left, because remember he was running a low count of supplies. Wang Liang actually burning through it too. 4-to-4 ratio for his armor powders and healing berries. I think Mike has a chance of holding this fort down. The only problem is Tessa's, because Tessa can really just push the boundary of you can't do anything. And if they really do want to make sure they burn the ability down to then enforce a neutral or uppercut, heaven step, anything of the nature in their weapon kit, that puts them in an advantage of just securing a kill. That's where it's going to come out from Tessa big time. The only thing is that Justina's biggest pressure hold is that every time that she gets a kill and picks up a Sobelman ultimate, after using the ultimate, she will be able to get another dash for that V2 because of that 30% rage give back. And that's big, because that blue focus, that ultimate dash does not care about blues or gold from abilities. It's not going to be a worrisome effort. But let's take a look at the replay. CDY actually feeling the full pressure of this Fairy Shen versus Fairy Shen fight. GG Shaw gonna go ahead, C to the heel, denies the first cannon shot. That's gonna burn it through. Oh, I like how they actually transitioned this. Wow. Shout out to production team updates. They transitioned the nice dodge. They transitioned the way that the fight happens in the replay, so that way it skips time. Pretty good. Don't worry about my stomach rumbling. GG Shaw though has a CDY though in a corner here, and I think he's gonna go for a cannon shot. If he doesn't, then it's gonna be a rush down. 20 seconds on the clock. Maybe they even lose both the Romyang. Nope. Parry comes out. Switches to dual blades, get the R&B, forces the F1. Hongsword gets a beta parry. 1-2s, doesn't release the 3, but he sees an R&B coming out here. CDY looking to try to go out with a bang. Hopefully, R&B gets parried. Loses that Hongsword. Big loss in terms of that DPS. I do think that GG Shaw, though, Fairy Shens always have that succumbing feeling of being able to hold down the fort. But the moment that someone pressures them and then forces that beacon drop, like right now, if they have low health, then every single one of the enemies in the vicinity switches to their ranged weapons and just starts pelting shots at them. That's a case scenario. Because a Fairy Shen in the end circle can do the work. It's just it's a card that you have to play and making sure that you don't lose out. But we'll have to see. Rishishi actually going to have his chance here to, loot up and walk around. And while the top 7 players are here, Mike has 7 eliminations. GG Shaw has 3. CDY has 2 as well as with Frostovis. Arana goes down with 2 eliminations, but we still have Wang Ling and Rishishi still alive into this game, still waiting it out. Did Mike just do some Akuma energy right there? That'd be funny. Okay, so I just realized GG Shaw has only 3 full-scale armor powders, and he has one of the Soul Jades from the Soul Land crossover. I don't think it's the Arachnid one. I don't think so. See, double HP for 24, 1 attack, and I don't think the melee resistance was anything, so it could be the recovery amount one. Because that poison the Arachnid legs is oof, because it's essentially free burn. It's a burn not with a scale rush. It's not, not a scale rush, but it's not a burn like how you need to grapple and then strike the enemy. You just hit them and then you just deal poison damage. And that poison damage can really just back away. You're just like, hey, hold on, chill. No, the poison doesn't have any sort of healing deficiency, so Zippings won't have super critical of that. But any other character that doesn't have a self heal, they'll feel that pressure. 100% from that Jade alone. But everyone's on this plateau. I think if Frostovis wants to be careful here, just stick to a 1v1. He's ranging out, but I think that this fight is not going to be ranged out any longer. They're just waiting this out. Like, Juxus is going to hold his position with the staff. Has Merciless Havoc just to deny any range shots or any pushers like that. The cannon shot, like, nah. Roy Shishi gets right up. He doesn't want to get caught the Merciless because he can take range shots from enemies because of that. Right? Like, Rishishi is taking damage and then having to heal back up. He's got advanced heal. But he's using common armor. Actually, he has no armor powders. That was his last armor powder. And here's Mike with 10. We're going to see Juxta trying to throw these Merciless Havocs as a wild haymaker against Wang and Frostifus. I think if this Merciless knocks him out of the plateau, it would just be a massive blow. There it is, parry coming out from Frostifus. And he actually uses the musket because it denies the F1 to be forced from the first hit. Frostifus avoids that Tesla ult, so does Wang Liang, and Jux just gets jabbing for kill number 8 for Mike's there. That's a big ouch. Now everyone's going to go for that Merciless Havoc if they want it, right? Mike is not going to worry about trying to pick that up because there's too much action happening from this body. GG Shaw now going to be the one enforced entity to be enchanted and is in Fairy Shenmech. Not going to be the best case scenario. And look at that. Everyone's switching to ranged weapons. Get her out of here. That's what they're going to say. That's what they're going to want. Because if the Fairy Shen knocks him out of the corner with a cannon, like right here, right? Frostifus actually utilizes his immunity frames from the F1 cast. He's going to deny this. And there's a bow shot to the bow shot. RMB to the RMB. There's a cannon shot this time. Oof. Okay, GG Shot doesn't have ultimate anymore. He walks away from the RMB from the fan from Frostifus. Scare Rush comes out. He's avoiding everything. Is he Neo? Crazy. I know Kung Fu. You know, well, I mean, he's gonna be shadow stepping all over the place too. The Hung Sword's too good for that. And then Mike's just playing for placement. He should. He's got 8 kills. Wait for everyone to get eliminated, get an extra multiplier chance, and, chill out. Parry coming out from Wei Shishi against GG Shaw. V1 doesn't hit anyone from Wei Shishi. So as he's coming out here, he lost armor powders in the beginning, and he gained armor powders. GG Shaw actually gets fully eliminated for this round so far. Wei Shishi is going to have his dual plays. Parry coming out from CDY up against Mike. Mike actually forces the ultimate for the V2. Gets to the sky. Beacon drop going to happen here. Mike actually switches to range weapon in midair. It looks towards a horizontal hold check from Frostifus, and he drops right down below just to break line of sight, but Frostifus is not letting him up. He picks up the elimination. I saw an F1 and someone got canned out. I think it's Roishishi. Yes, it is. Roishishi eating up the zone damage, and CDY is just trying to deny him entry from the zone. 38 seconds. Nice V1 from Roy. Scarish comes out, gets cannon shot, and I think that's going to be it. Swarm going to come out from CDY. Picks up 5 eliminations so far. He's looking for 6. Has himself to worry about what's in his body, but gets more concerned about what happened with that pole sword releasing. There's a stanchion, or rather the RMBs from the staff from Wang is actually going to deny everybody the chance. Stanchion into Merciless. It looks like CDY is going to get full eliminated out here into the zone. No chances unless he gets kill steal. Nope, Wang Liang gets it through. Frostifus throws his RMBs again and again and again. Wang Liang dying out to zone. And that gives Frostifus victory. The lap. That was very nice. Yeah, I mean, full consideration. I mean, Frostifus gets his marks for those scores. Let me see if I can try to find. Let me get the scores for you real quick. All right, scores are here. So coming out of the placement for the 8 kills, Mike gets himself to the first place with 10.6. I mean, 8 kills, the highest in the lobby. With the high placement there, he's gonna be secured. For the first round at least. Frostifus, though, with first place and being able to grab those eliminations from early on against Wang, or at the very end with Wang, with the 4 eliminations and the multiplier bonus with the ranking points, he's at 8.6. Very good, strong start for the first round, so it's good to see that. CDY with Panda Man, he's going to have third place here position with 6.7. With Shaw at 4.6, Wang in 5th with 3.4, Arano 2.7, and the remainder with Roishishi down to Paste, AS, Jux, Spider, and XXY. Now, Spider gets eliminated pretty early on, and all players are like, oh man, what happened? I couldn't tell you. But we will see how it ends up in the round 2, just to make sure that he's kind of good to go and, seeing everything together. So, to round 2, gonna go through. So, we're back with round 2. We are gonna be into Holoroth this time, but it's gonna be cloudy. It's not sunny. And cloudy, has some extra perks, has some extra disadvantages. For Rage, at least, you'll see the disadvantages very quickly. But at least the perks, if you guys don't know, Cloudy actually has less, poison shrooms. Now, Morris Isle, that's huge. And Holoroth, there's only very few areas between like the Cinnabar Valley that has those shrooms, and then, just the fruit in general, or just to have the area effects like the Ghastly Mist, But coming off of this round, starting off the second round, our choice picks is going to have CDY choose his Tessa, and he's going to have the V1 F1. The first Shail showing here so far with Wang Liang with the F2 V2. And since the topic of the conversation is with the F2 V2, let's bring up Shael. So Shael's kit comes out to be a very strong point. There's a lot of pros and cons on paper, and in practice, it's where it really shines. And I think the biggest reason for that, for Shael, as the biggest strength that she has, is because of her F2. F2 shield combo rush, like the shield bash combo rush has so many properties to it. Like the F1 is just a combo breaker. It's not a bad thing that it's just a combo breaker, but when you look at what the F2 can do in a solos play style, you're looking at an ability that's gonna really just put you in a good position for like three things. The first thing, right? Soft combo breaker, meaning that it's not like it's not a combo breaker, but you could use it in dire circumstances of getting caught out. Like imagine Akko's ability. That's how you can use it. You can knock someone back. But this is where it gets interesting for F2. It has two stages to its charge attack. You have to be very mindful that in the first like milliseconds that you're casting it, you are not stagger immune. And getting caught out with like a stagger is really not a good experience. But after that, it goes into gold focus. Blue focus into gold focus. Really fast. Once you hit the first hit, you can set yourself up for neutral. You can go for LMB uppercut. You can just do a lot of things with it. It's really strong. It's gold focus, right? So you're going to be able to knock back anyone who's in blue focus in that state and just get that opportunity. Heck, you can just charge someone who tries to iframe dodge it and actually hit them in the face, regardless after their dodge. It's really good. And then if you go for the second stage of it, for the punch, right? You hit someone off the end. That's actually going to give you an opportunity of just dealing out the damage and knocking them back into the direction that they are not going to have a fun time with. So for F2, just have an understanding that that's the strongest point of her kit. I think the caveat is the V2 or the V1 and V2. In solos, at least, V2 has more prevalence just because, it's just for you to be able to catch the side of your opponent and being at their side. Your opponent can iframe dodge to V2, so as you're fighting Shael's, just notice that. But one important part about it is this. The Black Tortoise guards and the Black Tortoise blocks that come out from Shael denies any damage to be taken, meaning that even to the state of being parried. So if she gets parried and they attack, they cannot hit her. So they're going to resort to using range weapons. We're probably going to see that coming out of here. Wang Liang's going to feel that full pressure of getting musket shot to the face 5 times. But one thing about it is that if they do intend to hit him, right, he has to be in a staggerable state. So he can't be holding blue focus. If he gets blue focus, he can get neutral LMB'd or RMB'd / horizontal vertical. And that'll just chip away damage from his health bar as a result. So it's just really a good way for him to close gap between opponents and then really just set himself up for combos, because this ability right here, that F2, that can set the deal for any opponents. Heck, you can use F2 to deny, like, even to the extent you can actually hit Tessa's and knock him back by hitting the F2 with the second confirmation hit. So these guys are going to have a good time with that. But choices here, you guys see J Team's pace is actually going to choose V1 this time around. Considering that Mike ran that V2, I'm sure that Pace will see about some sort of consideration for that. But if he's going to run the V1, the 4-second freeze immunity state is going to be something that he's going to try to take full advantage of. And if not, just go for neutral and try to burn somebody to go into a neutral uppercut state. But we're going to see about how this goes out. Frostvich chooses a lot of Fairies, a lot of Zipping Yings, and a lot of, Tessa, or 2 Tessas and the Justina Shael into the mix. So hoping to see what these guys have cooked up into this round. And, if anything comes out from the spawns, remember, this is cloudy. The spawns are just going to go straight for gold areas. There's nothing else really worthwhile effort. As you can see, 4 players are actually in one spot. Salvation Podium is going to have 2 spawns. So while these guys go up to each other and say, hey, how's it going? I'm trying to solve the puzzle. A ballista shot to the face. No questions about it. And I think with Yushan Ruins being GG Shaw's only spawn, like he's the only person there, he's going to have a lot to loot into that secret room from the portal. So he'll go ahead and take that opportunity for sure and get his ultimate from that Rage Altar. Because there is a Rage Altar in cloudy regions, and that's one of the few ones that comes out. But, round 2, going to begin. And like I said, these guys are all spawned next to each other. Mike is actually going to split over towards towards the Imperial Village and try to find these gold troves. Oof, no armor so far. He's playing this Various Shen, so he's going to really need an armor really quick. XXY actually locks down an R&B blue focus. Finds an armor. Very nice. Eats with a hit. XXY gets a horizontal, forcing the F1 of Mike. There's going to be LMB. LMB doesn't get the uppercut. The F1 coming out from XXY tries to see about whether or not Mike was going to go for it, and he did. But Mike gets himself a nice clean neutral, gets the uppercut, gets the kill. A boat. Excuse me. What happened to his armor? And in this side, though, over by the Igneous Mounds, or by Pinnacle Town, Spider finds AS. Blue armor, Zipping Ying. Really best case scenario in the early game. AS has blue armor as well, and he is Zipping Ying. So both of these guys are on equal terms for the mitigation and the weapon rarity with blue weapons. But it's all about who's going to catch who and who's going to burn what. And Spider's eating up all of these blue focuses, and he gets Scare Rush sideswiped by CDY, and Jux is actually going to look for the try to chase this out. Purple weapon from Jux as is Zipping Ying. And you're going to see a lot of action coming here. There's a lot of clustered fights coming from this end, and AS, he's just trying to find somebody. He's just trying to get to the high ground, find a position, and gets a high position of seeing the enchant, follows the direction of it. Roishishi is actually going to look towards it, gets enchanted. R&B doesn't go through because he saw someone else. AS is really just avoiding these fights, and Roishishi is just looking to try to survive here. Spider, though, is going to be leaving this room. CDY at 500 HP. Pole sword swap from AS. You know exactly why, because he's just looking for a quick burst vertical blue focus. Maybe not a 1.0, but he just he's going to try to see about releasing it just before it reaches second stage for the vertical pole sword. Roishishi, though, gets his uppercut, gets a blue focus vertical. Spider has V1 active. He gets a little bit of good extra healing, and the heal over time takes into place. He's got that 30% mitigation, so in case he takes a little bit of damage from Roishishi, that is the reason why. But he's not catching him. And an armor swap from Roishishi with a parry like this is going to be the first kill elimination for Spider for today so far. When Spider takes the soul bloom immediately, he does not want to leave any of it behind, especially right now with no ult and knowing there's so many targets for him to try to take an accumulation of kills if he can. Now, Jux gets towards the stairwell, I should say. F1 comes out. Spider actually looks for this R&B. Dips out. He's going to Scare Rush away. Jux is actually going to... AS is going to look for the horizontal with a pole sword. As it comes out, AS is going to be pretty nifty here. Jux is going to be in a bad spot. Forced in the V1 with 100% coming out here in the nick of time. And Jux is not looking too high if someone wants to try to hit him with a grapple and find out how much HP he's got, because looking at how he's moving, all these guys are going to figure that's the case. He's going to be low, and AS is looking towards Spider, not finding Jux because there's so many Zipping Yings. You can see AS actually realize this guy is not the common armored Zipping Ying, and finds his opponent right here. Uppercuts confirmed, though blue focus, but he's going to delay this 1, 2, 3, and no, he delays the 2.0. One hit, double parry, confirms the hit off of Jux. No Soul Bloom pickup, and gets parried as a result, and we're going to see the Soul Bloom pickup coming up from Spider, denying it for AS to actually get that really fast. Spider looking to try to stagger out CDY, gets his uppercut, gets his vertical blue focus, but look at that pole sword. CDY was scared. He does not want to release it while he takes a full pole sword swing to the back. AS is going to try to use it, gets caught in that Scare Rush coming out from CDY. And while this comes out here, we're going to see an F1 opportunity coming through. Obviously, with everything coming out, Spider's just going to get a full, not full reset, but he's going to heal up and just try to keep up with these guys and seeing who's going to be the lowest health target. Try to confirm a kill. This is the aggressive route you can miss out on if you are looking towards trying to be aggressive. You got to be smart with it. You got to make sure you have just enough. Don't go in with like 50 HP. AS forces the horizontal block extreme, gets the disenchant between two targets. The fact that he got away with that was kind of baller. And AS is gonna actually burn his ultimate. Still gonna have healing. Gets parry. Loses those purple nunnies. R&B coming in from CDY. AS is like, yo, let me pull a sword right in there. Yo, dog, let me just get straight through. Goes for a heal, horizontal delay from Spider, forcing the F1 from CDY. As the Tesla, the Foxfire isn't going to be forced now. It's going to be a chance for Spider to burn all his stamina for dodging out the Tesla ultimate. R&B comes out from AS. He's focusing the Zipping Ying. He's going to look for CDY now. He's going to see a parry coming out from CDY. CDY looks for the kill confirmation. He's going to get it. Picks up the Soul Bloom. Switches it out for those R&Bs. Neutrals out and gets himself into a V1 position. Might be looking for a parry here. Not going to get it. The F1's enabled. The Enchant's going to confirm a kill here if he's really quick with it. Goes for the 1-2 into the hold check to the R&B blue focus. XXY rushes to the scene. CDY quick with it, gets parry, goes for this chance, switching out to the secondary weapon, but the V1 is ready, gets his R&B chance, goes for the weapon again for this dual halberds that he just had, and there's going to be a pistol shot coming up from XXY as a quick swap. He's looking to try to kill confirm. Hold checks the R&B, the F1 coming out for the beacon drop, and the F1 comes out, but that enchant is going to go through, and it's going to give CDY just enough chance. Psych! Arachnid leaves. You know, that Jade, that Jade is actually kind of grief. For a majority of reasons, because like I said, there's no prerequisite. You just need to pick it up. You know, Assault Smolder was once a gold Jade for burn, but you needed to grapple somebody for it, and it has faster downward strike animation once you have Assault Smolder. But the fact that a Jade that just does flat health damage just for a prerequisite, not even hitting. I don't even think you can just hit that. You can just clink him, right? You just as long as you hit a melee hit, boom, it starts proccing. It's not stackable. It's not like stackable damage over time, aka DOT or dot. It's just you just hit him once, and you know it's just a stack that just depletes over time, and then you reset a stack every time you hit them. So. I would say that Arachnid leaves really do the number on players for poke damage. That's why I was mentioning to Moxie. I'm like, yo, T225 and Akuma, aka Fang, back to being Fang, they're gonna like the hell out of it because dagger movement and fan movement and pulse like just goes in. Mike misses his Romy Yang though. 2 eliminations though so far. We're gonna see Gigi Shaw and Arano up against each other while XXY and Wang Liang are gonna be conversing to this fight. I think Wang Liang has these gold dual blades from the Salvation Podium as a huge dub, but he's playing Shael. This is the first time we saw the Shael fight. Wait a second. That was very scary horizontal that Wang Liang threw out there. I thought he was going to get parried. Scare Rush comes out from XXY. There is nothing to save Wang Liang here. There's no combo breaker. But he activates ult here. XXY gets caught with those R&Bs. Cab Bloom coming out from the dual blades too. You know what's crazy about Wang Liang right now with his V2 is that he just burned his second block right there too. But it's a fact that if the beacon comes out from XXY at any point, he could have blocked the beacon. He's only got 1 block left for the Black Tortoise. I really wish it was called Onyx Tortoise because I think that is the lore reason, right? But he has F2. So Wang Liang could actually kill confirm if he's really looking towards it. Yeah, there it is. Oh, F2 gets knocked out. Parry comes out, and he beats out XXY. Very close. Gets his purple armor and gold weapon. We're going to see Roy Shishi over here. This is a fire pit and a half over by the Ice Shard Lake. I think Spider, though, with blue armor here. He's looking for an opportunity of taking Roy Shishi's armor. I mean, I would too. But we're going to see about his focus on Mike here because focusing on someone who's running away, that's usually the best case scenario. Soul Break coming out from the backline from Mike. He looks for a horizontal there. Another horizontal coming out. Spider actually looks for his chance to try to lock down Mike. Mike gets into the beacon. Mike actually looks to just reset here as he should. And considering that he still has the campfire buff, you know, he's not going to lose rage as a result. That's why he used it in the first place. But this Forbidden Seal is going to say otherwise if he walks into it. So with everything coming out, Mike looks towards just dipping out. I mean, if he wants to consolidate a fight between somebody, they will make sure they chase him. And it looks like it's going to happen. Roy Shishi is actually looking to hunt. Jux is actually somewhere into the midst of the lake or the village north of the Ice Shard Lake. Roy Shishi is right behind. He's got 100% ultimate. 100%. He's still got the campfire buff. Only problem is that he's got 2 grapples. So he's got to be very conservative about that. 3.5 minutes left for, not for Spider, for Gigi Shaw after losing to Romy Yang. He's actually going to be hunting down Spider here by one of the pillars. Oof. It's going to be a katana, right? Or Hung Sword, delved attack, nice horizontal. Oh my goodness. Who got the Phoenix Blast? Pace is actually going to be rocking that. And he's got a gold longsword from his Romy Yang win. And he's got Vermilion. So he's really not worrying about anything. I'm not sure if Pace actually is going to be doing the workout here with that V1. We haven't seen it yet. Pace is actually picking up 1 elimination from the Romy Yang, and that was his only kill into this lobby. Arana, though, and Frostovis, they are rocking into what is going to be a Worry Town. They still need to find that Soul Bloom. And this Forbidden Seal is deactivated, so we're going to have to wait a minute until it comes back up for any sort of ultimates to be denied. Frostovis, though, gets caught out here with that uppercut. Very nicely done coming up from Wang, but I think right here that Soul Bloom pickup from Wang is huge. Gigi Shaw is going to look for this F2, gets caught out, though. Not going to have any more fun times in Hollow Roth. Gigi Shaw has that Gecko Foot and he gets out there really fast, but he gets caught from Spider. Two opponents coming out here. Pace looking for the V1, quickly gets the kill. If he can, yes, he will. He will look to try to pick up that Soul Bloom. Not going to happen. They're going to deny that. And Pace just picks up the elimination. He can dip out here. He's got himself a good chance of just waiting this out. Got that gold longsword. Wang Liang up against AS. This is big time parry. Yep. And it's going to come out here really strong. RMB gets here. You're going to see that Soul Bloom be picked up by Arano really quickly as he can. V2 is still available for Wang Liang. I mean, remember, he runs the Romy Yang. He's got 30 seconds, gets parry, loses those. Oh, man, he loses everything that he was looking to farm towards with that gold pair dual blades. It's unfortunate, but he still got that cool, great sword. He should be switching that to a pole sword soon. We should see. We shall see. Reishishi, they're just looting up the body. Tries to find Spider. Or you're just getting a high position, high ground spot. So, I mean, a lot of things came out of that. Pace just shows up, gets a kill, dips out. And, if everything comes out, I mean, we're looking at towards how the long haul. Let's just put it that way. Spider is still hunting for a purple armor, right? He sees Jux, he hits him off. He's like, all right, cool. You know, one person to look at. But another thing that comes out of this is whether or not the players want to just stick around for the end. It's really up to them how they want to go through. We're going to watch this Romy Yang fight. Oh. Yo, this is crazy. This guy came in with a gold longsword. After that, that's crazy. We're going to see Frostbite get those jump LMBs. I think Pace is going to get this parry yet, and it's going to come out. Ooh, tries to go for an R&B for a carousel real fast if he can for the grapple bump. Yep, there it is. And it's a confirmed kill because of the Phoenix Blast. So he gets that gold longsword as an upgrade. It's kind of huge. Jux is going to be distanced out. But for some players, you know, you might call them rats, and don't worry about it. I think one thing that you have to understand is that when you're at the world stage like this, or rather into the region for the CN bi-weeklies and whatnot, into getting to spring season, you take your quick kills and dip out. Be in a safety net. Don't be over aggressive. If you do play over aggressive, it's either because of the character that you pick. But the thing about Justina is that she can be over aggressive. Yeah. She's only got 30 seconds for her ult duration. She is not gonna have a fun time when she runs out of dashes, and they take full advantage of that. Fairy Shens can see that to plain as day. Tessa's can see that to plain as day. They will take full consideration, controller, and like Pace, if he stuck around to try to fight, yeah, he could get some damage off. He could find some poke off of that end. But the moment that a third party or a fourth party comes in and they're going to be just poking them out, it's going to be a problem for him and a problem for his placement. 9 players still left though. Mike though up against Reishishi, forces the F1. Oof, nice chance for him to burn that Foxfire. And another R&B. Hello? Nice R&Bs coming out from Mike. Hey, he's tiptoeing around. And gets a purple weapon, gets a gold nunnies. He's probably going to pick up white tigers again. I think he will. Wang Liang wins out against Arano, if I'm not mistaken. He picks up white tigers, yeah. So, that's good. I mean, the reason, like, I mean, it's a bad, I don't say it's a bad buff. It's not a bad buff. We will see in trios how it gets picked up, because now that Draco Storm is 3 minutes, we're really going to be cooking with, between buffs and seeing which one's best in slot for Romy Yang 2. Romy Yang 1 has Vermilion Birdsmite, and that's just too strong of a buff to be enabled, to be ignored, I should say. Nice parry from CDY. But Mike is going to look this White Tiger's prowess in solos and make sure that he can just force out any sort of personnel that's in the distance. Kill steal from CDY, though. I mean, it was his originally, so Mike just picks up the Soul Bloom instead. He's like, okay, no problem. 3 eliminations. But XXY, still in soul form, still trying to decide where to spawn from losing to Romy Yang. And CDY just dips out. And another snowstorm. This is problematic. We need to find a fire. We need to find a campfire real quick, because the amount of rage lost, you can see that meter right below the map, that blue bar going up. That blue bar is going to get up really quickly, and you're going to lose a lot of chances of being able to throw a beacon down. CDY, though, gets fully sent into Imperial Village to try to disengage from that fight. Reishishi, though, in Romy Yang depletion mode, 3 minutes. I'm not sure if he's looking for where he left a Soul Bloom. Usually it comes down to, man, where did I leave that? And I think if not, then he's just trying to find someone to find out. But 2.5 minutes left for his roaming. Mike is gonna just go right back towards the ice shard leg. I mean, he's like, there's no reason to go into the tree line. There's too much factors there for someone to just escape if he's trying to commit to it. So with that, he finds Wang. Wang Liang has V2, right? Like I say, so he's gonna be, if he fights up Wang on ground unit form, there it is. Army to RMB, we're gonna see the F2 invested from Wang Liang. He's gonna invest it pretty early on, but there's the V2 form. You're gonna see it. Force number 1 block, gonna go for V2 number 3. Nope, he goes for a shunt, goes for a crouch LMB. He's forcing the F1 from Mike, and Mike burns the 2nd block. Oh man, Wang Liang goes for it though. Beacon drop forces the 3rd block. Mike sees his chance for a blue focus. Oof, goes for the parry opportunity. Level 3 pole sword, goes for horizontal block extreme, and the uppercut's confirmed. And we're going to see Wang Liang go for the teleport. Oh, that's huge. F1's invested, though, and I think Wang Liang can't take this fight any longer because of that beacon. And with everything coming out, Wang Liang's going to take 1 heal off, but those pistol shots, oh my goodness, it's going to almost cost him his life. That scare rush was not going to be perfected. I think Wang is going to use his F2 to knock back Mike. Mike is going to look to try to go for pistol shots here, trying to close gap towards it. But that dagger, that fan swap out is really strong. Wang's going to look to try to get on top of this plateau or towards his rock face, and he's going to be getting chased out with those nunchucks. So strong. Pistol shots coming out from the back line. He's just 1 hit, and the RMB comes out. Mike actually gets that elimination for number 4, but over to the Plume Castle. XXY is careful with it. Roishishi is going to be very mindful about trying to neutral out a Fairy Shen here because he doesn't have an enchant ready to go. So XXY is on ground unit time. Roishishi is in the sky. XXY looks for a blue armor swap in the zone, but he's going to have to mitigate being in the zone by just healing immediately into that area. And I think Pace is going to be blocking off that stairwell. XXY is going to take the time then to swap his armor back to where he was originally wearing the purple one, but it was destroyed. And now I think it's a time for him to leave the zone here. Pace is actually going to be rushing down Roishishi as a full frontal. He's got Mystic Might. He did not pick up Tiger's Prowess. He'd rather take the mitigation than Vision over that. So take that as you will. Pace is going to be looking towards it and getting a charged up with that Phoenix Blast, gold rarity weapon. But he gets enchanted. This could be huge here because he could take full advantage of denying the enchant or just looking to try to go for the freeze. He made a mistake of dashing first, but I think he's going to be getting this kill if he's very careful, maybe a double kill, but he is getting caught through here. No parry opportunity, but he's going to lose out and pick up that Soul Bloom, and I think that's going to be it for Pace because all he needs to get done is a shot to the back. Roishishi is actually avoiding this. Maybe he should have went towards him. I don't know if he counted the dashes that he saw, but he did pick up the Soul Bloom, right? So we're not going to look at Pace getting another dash because of it. Maybe he thought there was a double dash because Joyce Justinas get that reset off of V1 for hitting 2 targets or getting a free dash. But XXY is eating up a lot of damage. That gold pole sword that Mike has with that blistering edge, once a horizontal comes out, that's like 600 damage just from the pole sword alone. 700 damage. And then the burn comes in effect. Like I say, there's the R&B. Parry. Yeah, it's going to be insta-kill. Soul Bloom is going to be saved. It's going to be picked up. He doesn't want anyone to come back here to... Oh, hey, look, a Soul Bloom, right? Here's 1,000 healing for myself. But he is next to his Gold Morse Blessing. It looks enticing for a gold armor. Yes, it will. And we're going to actually have the Sandstorm here, which is going to refresh some troves and increase your grapple distance by a significant amount. So Mike will look towards and making sure that happens. With Mike, though, Scarish comes out. He's going to be looking to trying to just, back off. He didn't pick any of those Jades up. He just picked up the armor immediately. I'm not sure if those Jades are Storm Stride or if he's going to be having to... It is Storm Stride. But Mike is actually going to have this Clink come off. There it is. Blistering Edge. Pistol shot. Tries to poke it out here. Roishishi is going to probably try to make his way towards his towards a Morris Blessing to pick up that armor if he dares tries to get past this. Let's see what happens here. Forces his chance. Oh, he shouldn't have used the F1 there. And then there's going to be a chance for Mike to actually get himself closing in there. That F1 usage from Roishishi was misplaced. I think he was looking for the invulnerability for the aspect from the range shots that he was receiving from the backside. But I think Roishishi is just going to go for the escape here. I don't think he's going to be allowed. Once a clear line of sight comes out from these opponents, they will look to try to go for it. And look at Pace, man. He is picking up eliminations left and right, man. 5 eliminations this round. Top 3 into this lobby. He only needs 2 more eliminations to get a 7-kill game. on top of the multiplier. Now, Mike, though, he is looking into locking in pace. He can actually bait out an R&B blue focus really quick. There it is. Pace, though, gets blocked. He looks to try to see about F2. Really early investment. That poison jade is detrimental. Paste sees a ballista shot. Oh, man. No way. Panda, man. Goes for the ballista just like that, and it's free. That's a free kill. Heck, you know it's interesting. We could see a more. We could see. Wait, was that Moonbane was the last Moonbane? I believe that's the last Moonbane that we just saw. But in trios, Moonbanes can spawn at 5 minutes. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of scary. But Mike is gonna see about just healing up this damage that he's being dealt. Oof, Army comes out to close gap. Parry come out. Oh my goodness, Nunny Sap is gonna come out, and I think Mike is gonna be looking for a meter dump opportunity here after this. RMB comes out. The F1's enabled. CDY looking to try to pick up those Nunnies again, the dual blades again. V1 is guaranteed. F1 is more than guaranteed here for Mike to save himself, but the uppercut comes out. He saves his F1 because once this RMB comes out, guess where he's going? Straight towards his beacon. If he can, oh my goodness, if he can, but he gets it. Oh, there's a Moonbane. Yep, I was right. That new Moonbane being spawned in extra is really tough to fight up against. And Mike is gonna actually look for his chance here for just armoring up. And the V1's ready for CDY here. So he's just going to have to be mindful about crossing the... he is in the Moonbane. He needs to get out of there quick. The Goldmore's Blessing, I think, is spawned. It should be in the western side because we haven't seen it anywhere towards the east or the north. But as the bodies come dropped here, is that a Mortal Defiance left behind? No, it can't be. No, it's just a purple jade. Both these guys are in close quarters combat. There it is. Longsword for the horizontal to R&B, but doesn't get it. He's going to go for a parry, though. That's going to be a Foxfire right there in the microsecond there. Mike is going to go for the jump LMBs. Might be going for the R&Bs. Try to get that stagger. Oh, my goodness. If CDY can launch his opponent into the Moonbane Blast, that's going to be a GG's. CDY goes into it, though, regardless. Tries to catch a Shadow Step horizontal parry or neutral coming out for here. And I think Mike has a chance of seeing CDY. There's a Phoenix Blast in his hand the whole Hepta Detach the whole time. Look at that consistent damage being dealt out here. But there's another Phoenix Blast coming out. There's the V1. I ain't gonna ask questions here. That's gonna be it. Pistol shot 3, 2, 1. Pistol shot 3, 2, 1. Beacon drop for the kill. Doesn't get it. Chasing him out into the zone. That's gonna be it. Well, Mike is gonna be doing some good work with that. You know, I mean. Once he had that longsword, right, and picks the Phoenix Blast coming out from Paste, I mean, man's booling. Let's get these scores, though, real fast. All right, so we're back with the scores. Mike, 11.4 when the first place position. Paste actually gets second with 8 kills. And CDY gets 7.6 in that round, while Wang Liang gets 6. And look at the deficit between the 1st through 4th, from the 5th through 12th. A lot of these top 4 players get as many kills as they can. You can see the 6-4. Like there's a limited amount of kills you can get, right? Coming out of the Romy Yang the first Romy Yang after Vermilion Birdsmite, then that's a really definitive line of where you can actually go through and understand. But the standings are this. Let's take a look at the scene with the first round standings. Arano actually is, or the bottom of the 6. T East Jex is going to be at 1.5. AS at 2 points. 2.2 for JJH's XXY, Reishi from BPE at 3 points, 3.2 for Spider from WBG, and EWG's Arano with 3.2 as well, tied. The Gatekeeper is going to be the main attraction. Now, these last 2 games the first game had a pretty split out list of kills and numbers, but the top 4 for the second round kind of shook that standing, and you can see Gigi Shaw is now the Gatekeeper with 5.6, so, you know, a 2.4 difference between 6th and 7th. But Pace is going to have 9 kills. And I think at this point, or 9 points, to say, with 9.4 and 9.6, the next receiving. Frostfist is actually at 2nd place, or 3rd place, with this point value. The CDY catches up with 14.3, but Mike has his 2nd MVP. He's working his magic. And he's going to be going through with that. We're going to go to part 3, or round 3, I should say. And then after that, we'll go have a separate video for section 2. And then we'll work on that. So with that being said, go to round 3 right now, and we're back for round 3. All right, so coming into this round, we're going to be back in the Holoroth. It is going to be sunny, specifically. But we are gonna have a little bit of the double picks being chosen here. Rather, more switch ups as per usual. Now we're seeing the Shayo picks. And as you can see, there are 3 Shayos. Now Spider's gonna be choosing it, so is Arano, as well as AS. And then XXY gonna be playing out the Justina pick. This time he's gonna be using the V2. Fairy Shen, Zipping Yings. Frostov is actually choosing to be the only Tessa into with Gigi Shaw. Both of them are going to be consolidated to Tessa, but nothing changing up from the skills. A lot of the same ones. The only one that's been changed somewhat has been XXY choosing V2, as well as Mike, who chose Justina V2 in round 1, and Pace choosing V1 Justina in round 2. So it's just going to be concise between those two, and which one is going to be more level-headed between the other. But at the end of the day, diversity is always going to be, not the cash money, especially when it comes to staples. Unless you're looking at trios, then that's where it really comes to being the testing grounds. But for solos, you got to be very mindful about what is going to be the best pick. Now, coming into this spawn, we are in Sunny, right? So we're not going to have any Fireflies in the overworld. Firefly cages can be noticed around. But a lot of these players are going to be either conjoined by gold regions or just spawning next to one another. And let's take a look at the scene, how this kind of begins for round 3, because if anyone loses, they can go towards Imperial. And if anyone, wins, are they going to go towards the Salvation Podium? Because that looks to be free real estate once someone decides to go for it. So whether or not we're going to see TE's Jux or ALL Sophrosophists, as switchery as that sounds, let's take a look at the scene about what round 3 kind of enables for that to be made. Mike is going to be spawning here in the Moonfall Pass, southern side of the village. But we're going to see a first initiated fight into the Cinnabar Valley between AS and Jux. And with this katana, or Hong Sword, I should say, he has picked up. The single-edged weapon is going to go ahead. Gets his first elimination really early on. Not even an armor going to be picked up, though, because there was no armor. AS is going to be looking to try to get that first elimination benefit of getting that money. And hopefully he's looking to try to lock down the Frostfist, who does have armor. But it doesn't look like there's going to be any spare armors up there. So AS has to decide upon dissipating from this fight, finding a new position of ringing around this building and trying to find as much loot as he can. There's a blue armor. He picks it up through the animation of the F1 coming out from the Tessa. And while the Tessa comes out here, Frostbite is going to be playing for keeps with those R&B blue focuses. And we're going to see that stagger, very close ankle grab stagger that he just caught out of AS. And that's going to be Frostbite's first elimination there, picking up the blue armor as a result. Now, Mike is actually going to be looking to try to lock down Shaw into the southern building here. It gets a parry, very nicely done. Thinks there's going to be an F. Oh my goodness. I think GG Shaw is big brain that. And with everything coming out here, Mike is going to get caught into this enchant by the Tessa. But while it comes out of here, you're going to see Mike is actually going to be worrying about what the case is with being caught out for, a neutral. And of course, GG Shaw catches his grapple bump into the R&B, gets his halberds out, and confirms a kill. Very nicely done with the katana / Hong Sword. You can do that with either or, guys, by the way. You have to be quick with the swaps. And just as I say swap, AS just picked up that Soul Bloom really quick, but he loses all his common armor here. He chooses to use his ultimate in a very vindictive manner. He needs to force GG Shaw to hit him, though, in order to have some sort of worthwhile effort. But look, blue armor on standby. AS picks up some jade, some supplies. He goes inside the building to try to contest this fight. However, like a Zai, the best way to fight a Shayo in the early game or in whatnot in this stage is just don't fight her at all. Uppercut comes out, the V2 comes through for the flash step, and of course AS forces the third block, and there's going to be coming an iframe dodge. Hold check comes out, parry, as sublime as can be. Grapple bump into the R&B is going to come out here, but no F2 is available for AS. He gets caught into the V1 Tessa. Whether or not he's going to burn this enchant, it's going to be up to his idea of being able to get to high ground position. Not going to happen. R&B blue focus going to get released, no hooked wings. Gets his R&B off, gets caught into the horizontal, and he goes down. GG Shaw is going to pick up a second elimination there. AS is hard confirmed out the match for this round. In the meantime, though, southern of the Salvation Podium, we are going to see Spider actually get his parry off of Jux, who forces the F1 off of it. And while Spider pushes the pressure off of Jux, he gets the elimination. He has his Soul Bloom on standby. And he's probably just going to be looking to loot around. I haven't seen anyone complete this puzzle just yet. But Wang Liang is up against against XXY, who is playing the Justina V2, right? He's at 85%, 87. He's picking up a little bit of damage, but also mitigating it to ensure that he can just try to maneuver a little bit away and trying to find some time to heal by throwing his opponent off. But he is getting that armor swap, purple rarity or blue rarity. But as it comes down here, it's going to go for a clink. No soul break coming out from Wang Liang. Wang Liang closing into it. The Neja's Might or Dragon Slayer is going to be parried out here. I'm getting confused between the two because of Smite. But we're going to see XXY actually getting the soul break off of this end. And the V2 is going to come out. And XXY is actually just going to dip out as fast as he can. Even though he has common armor, he is still getting chased out. Wang Liang is going to get clinked off here by what seems to be Frostivus. And XXY, he can't catch a break. Frostivus is now going to be looking towards the high ground and trying to figure out where XXY is. Charges the Scare Rush, tries to go for the hit, goes for a clink. Wind Blast is going to come out here. The fan horizontal coming out from what seems to be Wang Liang. And obviously right now, Frostbus is like, I got a perfect opportunity here to use a bow shot. He has ultimate though, ready to go. So whether or not he wanted to try to contest of using the ultimate, he does not. You know why? Easy. There's so many walls to Scare Rush off of that these guys could just wait for the enchant to pop and be in midair, burning time for Frostivus. Heck, they could get to the top of the wall before that time happens and then just decide to be in the air where Frostivus won't be able to take a full advantage of catching him with as much damage as he can. The potential, I should say. So, take that into the point when you're using Tessa. If there's a lot of easy terrain to to Scare Rush off of and have a high velocity, like if the terrain allows for the heights to be higher, right, they're going to adjust and how they want to try to use the ultimate, especially when they don't have a full scale, eyes on them type of position. But Wang Liang, he finds Frostivus here. Well, Frostivus finds him, but Wang Liang is going to dip out of dodge. He's going to have to worry about, catching this Roma Yang in the next 90 seconds after his escape. Or maybe he's going to try to maneuver to a Roma Yang portal if there is one nearby, near the city of Tang. Frostivus, though, is going to catch him. But Scare Rush comes out with a blue focus, and that's going to push Frostivus back. Wang Liang does not anticipate that blue focus. He forces the F1. Frostivus will look towards and making sure he doesn't have to use his own. But that beacon comes out. He's going to be looking to try to close gap even further. But Frostivus is going to be backing off here. I think one thing he now has to worry about is, can he reach Roma Yang at this point in time? Spider and Shaw, though, a lot of blue armor so far. We haven't seen much of the purple armors besides from what we saw earlier. But GG Shaw and Spider, down to the southern end of the Moonfall Pass. They're going to be next to Mike as well. And the only nearest Roma Yang is going to be that one. Northeast, you can see XXY is next to Paste near Southwestern Barracks. And inside of the Plume Castle, Arano and CDY are going to be there. Roishishi actually going to be locking himself out of this round as well. It's an early on-game kill. Wang Liang and Frostivus, though. I don't know if Frostivus was the one to initiate that fight. I don't know if they're going to be going for poke. I see Frostivus chasing him down. I'm not sure if Frostivus is going to be looking to try to force this fight between him and Wang outside Roma Yang shenanigans. I mean, he can deny it. But one thing is to note is that Frostivus takes this opportunity of doing so, maybe because he knows he doesn't have anything purple of rarity. If he gets a kill, he gets a knockdown, he can get gold off of that, but we'll have to see. Frostivus still gets caught with this R&B fan. Another R&B gets parried. Nice chance for him to actually burn a lot of damage here, but this terrain grief, it's going to be crucial here to see if a lethal jab comes out. Frostivus does not get the kill with the lethal jab. He's got ultimate. He can force Wang Liang to actually go forth and be in a bad position, but he's going to let him heal off. He's going to use the time to reset. In the meantime, Roma Yang has Mike and Shaw. Shaw's going to be looking for his chance. The horizontal comes out here. The F1's enabled. The V1 gets mid-dodge. Mike actually has his meter at over halfway, so he can get us a good chance of a meter dump if he's looking towards it. But he's going to be using it probably for a horizontal block extreme. Built it up. Gets horizontal, crouch horizontal, dodges the second Tesla ult. This is not looking good for Shaw, but he does catch this hit. He's going to be looking for it, and it's not going to be enough time because you know what's going to happen. F1 from Zipping, and then he's going to have V1 ready to go. Horizontal block extreme, goes for the meter dump into the uppercut, forces the F1 from Shaw. Shaw goes for the bait out with that horizontal, and then we're going to see a chance here. Another missed opportunity for the grapple bump for his check. I'm not sure. There's a clink number 1. Can we go for clink number 2? It's going to be a parry. And this is going to be a V1 force from the Sedate Soul that GG Shaw is going to look for and trying to take full advantage of. Gets caught into the whole check with that soul break. Now coming out, Mike is going to leave this one with the dub. And of course, with a gold weapon in his pocket, he used the common dagger. Now he has a potential gold pole sword. His buff of choice for millions. Yes, sir. And he's going to have it. So gold greatsword, he has a purple pole sword already. And usually you're going to see GG Shaw here now deciding on picking up the Soul Bloom that he got previously from his elimination with AS. Now, coming off of the losing team, or rather the losers of the Romy Yang, the Romy Yang depletion does give Pace a little bit of problem here. Spider actually wins his Romy Yang, possibly against him. In this case scenario, purple armor, not going to be a fun time. Parry comes out from Arano, very cleanly done. No chance for them to continuously deal the damage out to Pace. Pace gets caught out with his Scare Rush into an R&B as fast as lightning coming from Mike. And that's going to be it, guys. V2, oh my goodness. XXY gets a triple freeze off of this end. I just really wish we could see Mike do the pole sword shenanigans here, but you know he's getting the loot up. You know he wants to make sure if there's any jades of of substance that he can use, that he can do that. But Spider chases this out. He's looking to chase out Arano. Arano forces the ultimate as a Shayo. V2 is active, but Spider is low. He forces the ult on his end, maybe a little bit too early. I think the only reason this is a problem is because if he loses this fight right now, he has no ultimate when he comes out to the res. Now Arano loses that Soul Bloom. He's got the other Vermilions as well. But it looks like Mike is going to get that kill. So both of these guys have no ult. Mike picks up the Soul Bloom. It's like a rinse and repeat. But XXY is dipping out. XXY is just saying, nah, I'm good. I'm going to do my own thing. Spider's going to be into this region, though. He's I want to say salty spawn. He just went ahead and quickly spawned to see what the situation was looking like, judging from the amount of people that were fighting there. And thought maybe I could third party this, but no one was fighting. And he would have to take in a 1v1 fight with an opponent that could have been fully reset because he can see Ziping Ying's flower, the green flower. He can see that and see that it's up. And he's like, I'm not going to want to fight that. I don't have ult. He doesn't have ult. But he goes into the Romy Yang into his replay. He won this Romy Yang against Paste. So let's take a look to see what he did with the F2 neutral opportunity here and goes for that fan uppercut into that R&B blue focus, downward spiral with the vertical. And he doesn't get the parry here, but he does have ultimate. So it's going to be an insurance policy if he gets low enough at this stage. He's going to go for a heal. And while Pace heals in the back line, you can see the rush status. There's a Scare Rush. Quick as can be. There's going to be a V1. Actually, no, V2. Uppercut comes out here, and that's a kill. He caught him right through the grapple bump. He was playing quick with it. And Arano is actually going to be caught out here from Mike. These guys have both Romy. No, Mike has Romy. Not the Romy. Vermilion and Bird's Might. And Arano has his gold fan. Oh my goodness. Dual circles the Jade. Obviously, Mike was not looking towards the scene that he uses F1 immediately after that bump, but I think this won't be a kill confirm. I lied. Jump R&B does a lot of damage for Arano to confirm that kill. It was a risky play. He got it, though. 6 eliminations. And that's a Soul Bloom that he can save for the Romy Yang, and it's within the zone. So unless someone walks into this exact building and sees that, it's going to be the opportunity moment. Mike is going to wait this one out, though. Waits for the bounty scroll to be used. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Plus, Mike can wait out the full timer and waiting for the Romy Yang to spawn in. He's got a high placement as is. He is in first place overall for the standing, so he's going to just want to wait this one out. For the second Romy Yang, though, Spider's going to be going to the southern Cinnabar Valley. We are going to see south of the quarry, GG Shaw might be reaching that Romy Yang. CDY might be looking for a purple armor here at this Morris Blessing. If he's looking for a weapon, jade stuff, anything of the supply nature that he's going to be just trying to take advantage of. And I think Arano just, he can take an opportunity here. I mean, this is a free realm. Mike actually spawning in here. 45 seconds until we get into that Romy Yang. So we're going to have to see about where, just like the decision making right now is for Spider and Wang Liang to just chill out here. They shouldn't be wanting to fight. So they're going to be going through and just worrying on this end. One thing that GG Shaw, though, has to offer is that, with his position next to XXY, I mean, Arano has 6 kill eliminations. So if we can see GG Shaw win at the Romy Yang against XXY, goes after Arano, that would be an interesting topic to be brought up because these guys are like working themselves out of the bottom of the 6, right? So with him being at 7th place, he will just lock down XXY even further, right? And then Arano, who's at 5th, if he gets that kill, he can possibly pass him out because Pace is done. Pace is out. So for GG Shaw to get this elimination on top of everything else would be a good chance for him to bump up. But Wang Liang versus Mike. Getting memories. Mike switches to the gold great sword into a pole sword. He gets caught into this merciless havoc. This pillar could be a salvation moment. LMB comes out here. The R&B from the longsword connects. The whole check goes for a clink, and I think Wang is going to be looking to try to back off from that pole sword swing. Even if he does hold blue, he's still going to take all that damage. But then Wang Liang dodges that. Uppercut, goes for the staff swap, confirms the R&B, goes for the staggers. But I think right now with this F1 up again, Mike is just going to mitigate as much damage coming out. An amazing scare rush coming out here from Wang Liang. And of course, the bang. The V1 comes out. Wang Liang slightly flustered by that attack. He's going to be absolutely cornering off Mike from moving away from this pillar, and I think Mike is just going to just keep this rotation. We've seen this happen. There's the R&B coming out. If Wang goes into this beacon, he won't have a chance. Mike is going to be quick with it. Wang is frustrated. Quickly as can be, Mike is like, ha ha ha, ah ha ha. Of course, I think Mike has to appreciate his opponent when it comes to that type of pressure. He had him close dead to rights. But the sustain as the ping can bring in the course without any sort of transformation, it's just that she can hold down the fort without as much healing. And the fact that Mike had an insurance policy of the sedate soul, it's just going to be too good for him to be, worried about a danger. It was close. Like, he didn't have 100% ult until that last hit. And then he gets the force knockback and gets his F1, and that's, the HOT for the heal over time. And, it's a win-win. Wang Liang probably has a soul bloom all the way out here. Oh, man. All the way out here? How far is this at the zone? I think Cinnabar Valley is the closest region, so he's making his way. 3 vitalities. He will run into 2. No, he'll run into using 13. There it is. Is that it? Or is this okay? So you get 500 healing for HP. Pick up the supplies. He's gonna have to run through it. But I think over here into the Cinnabar Valley, there's enough action as is. Spider actually going to have himself to repair that pistol. He's got a White Tiger's Prowess as his buff, as can be. But he's going to catch CDY with that uppercut. And then you can see the pole sword coming out here from Mike. He's trying to close into this. Spider finds his chance outside the building, goes for the pistol shots. Spider might be just, he's just looking for a third party here. XXY is also looking for some bow shots. Trying to be clean with it. But Mike is looking at CDY. CDY is going to heal up inside this building. He's safe. Yeah, nothing's going to stop him, but he scare rushes right into Mike's point of view that he is not going to let go of. And then Mike gets caught in that stack with the fan. It's going straight towards fighting out XXY. A little bit of a punish, but the F1 comes out and gets caught into the other R&B for the fan, and the soul shot comes out from Spider. Obviously, the F1 down, Mike can't do any sort of iframes. He's going to be working this way magically off of this end. I think Mike has to worry about whether or not they're going to be rushing him down or not, because they were on the outside, but will they go inside the building? Pole sword action. You'll have to see it. Scare rush to the sky, gets himself to a better spot, gets to a different building, so that way he's not consolidating himself. And then with everything, just looks for opportunity of the dash. I mean, he sees XXY trying into that bush. This is the V2 Justina, by the way. The only Justina in this lobby. No parry opportunities are going to be given for XXY to get parried. But that pulse swing from Spider might say otherwise. Mike has to worry, though, if anything comes out. Scare Rush comes out here. Spider's going to spam it. Yeah, he can. F2 into a pole sword LMB. If he waited a little bit longer, he could have actually gotten the uppercut into the LMB, into the R&B blue focus. It's really, really tough to actually deny that. Spider, though, is going to go ahead and just dish out. Remember, if any one of these players kills an opponent while they have White Tiger's Prowess, they will heavy stacker and damage any nearby opponents. It's on top of that they get a stackable buff. They get a stackable range resist and melee resistance buff, 2 melee resistance, 3 range resist. It stacks up to 6 total for the melee and 9 for the range. So you need 3 kills in order to acclimate that status buff. But that mitigation, it's small, but it's there and it's permanent. So you need to see about getting those kills as fast as you can if you're looking towards and stacking it. If not, you just do the mitigation tactic, just healing over time. But Spider finds his soul, his key opponent, Arana. Another dual circles. That's the last one, supposedly, considering we saw the first one in Mike's position over into the Plume Castle. I think Spider now, even though he's looking to be pretty low, We know we saw the buff. So let's take a look into seeing how he won this fight, because he's at a disadvantage here. If he catches Arano into a Fan Infinite, that's the main reason. Yeah, he caught him into a Fan Infinite. And Arano can't even do anything about this. Is that number 5? Is that 6? Is that 7? Is that 8? Into an R&B fan. Listen, y'all. If this engagement does happen, which if it does, I'd rather see it in trios first, because if it happens in solo, I know a lot of players are gonna be upsetty spaghetti. But that infinite, man, with Shayo being the character of choice, remember F2 is F2 is like the peak of why players choose Shayo in solos, because if you can set up that for free against an opponent who doesn't have a combo breaker, there is no stopping you from being able to just dissipate any opportunity for their survival. Like, it's going to be expired. And as I say that, oh my goodness, Wang Liang gets caught to that Moonbane. Unfortunate. He looks for the blue armor swap. Doesn't get it. He doesn't have enough time. He's tripping over his ankles, and I think whoever's chasing this out, looking for this K rush. Yeah, Spider looks for the Soul Shatter. He is Shayo, right? So backing off here. Wang Liang does not want to get caught with the F2. He's going to use a full time to heal. The reason to pick up the blue armor is because this is a gold armor. Big time. But he's going to get pistol shotted out. I think one thing Spider is going to have to worry about is if he does get caught out from a Moonbane Blast, is he going to use ultimate? If he uses ultimate, is he going to force someone down? And if he does force someone down, are they going to noticeably burn the blocks? See, this is where one thing Shayo does not work well, is that if she does burn her blocks, it's really up to you to conserve your F2 in until an opportunity strikes, where you can catch him and where terrain isn't going to have an elevated slope. Or maybe you catch him on the downward slope, and then you really have an advantage there. But up until the point that you're at the low health point, it's really up to the third parties to show up with pistols and just eliminate your demise. Mike, though, he got caught in the Moonbane, got caught with a pistol shot from CDY, and another Moonbane that Arano actually eliminates him due to last hit priority. And CDY looking around, he probably already looted Mike's body, considering he's got that gold pole sword in hand and tow. But he is going to be just waiting out of the field of view from all these opponents. 6 players into this point. And, of course, if anything comes out, CDY is just going to space this out. Doesn't want any sort of trouble. As is a ping, you don't really want to be there where you're noticed. You want to be there when it's too late for them to do anything about your healing. So CDY will wait this one out. As is a ping. Spider, on the other hand, you schmooping. You got double fan because in case anything happens, right, you can just switch out to it immediately. Because Fan Infinite's too valuable for him right now. It's too valuable, especially right now in his placement. He's trying to catch up. He's trying to get his back up as he can be. Remember, last we saw, he was 8th place, tied for 7th. So he's gonna have to work his magic this round and catching up. We've seen him catch up before. He's always had his opportunity of having bad first games, and then all of a sudden, he gets pop-off games, and he's killing everything in sight. Point taken with Takeda. But concurrently, now that Shayo's in the game, I think this is his first use of Shayo. So if he's really going to be using Shayo into this round, if he's looking for her usage and later on, it's going to be his last use unless he double picks another character. So we're going to have to see how he decides upon doing that. Arano, though, with 7 eliminations, he's cooking. He's really cooking. This is his first round of pop-off game. This is absolutely, amazing for his progress coming out as a player. Arano never really had a chance of being able to reach out to the final rounds, but this is a good start to this season. I'm really hoping it stays consistent and keeps it going because, it's not only to him, though, because Pace was here last year for summer. He was here for his first season ever in playing. And off of that end with HOG. Now that he's in part of the J team, he wants to make sure he can capitalize on his position. Great player, stays through, and consistent. If he continuously puts that up, he's good to go. I really do want to see, I don't know if I will see this, JDG Shisheng next Solos Day. That would be huge. Because that man is like Wang Liang, bro. I'm seeing both of those dudes, and I'm like, yo, after that fight in the Solos and the J Cup finals, I was like, okay, I'm losing my mind. Like the concise points. Also, talking about concise points, we may not even see Hottie. I'm not sure if Hadi will ever make it back through into the solo meta. I think they're trying to make it work for his trio side of things, but considering that in the future he will be losing his F2 and his V1, that's a big blow. V3 you can use with the lever tech, but if you want to be able to use V3 for the lever tech, you're gonna have to lose out on having that F2 combo breaker, and his only other usage is F1, F3. So if players find a way of using said lever tech to their advantage, what will happen is that they'll look into, you know, fast rage, you know, gain ultimate and then fight the fight without being in flight mode. But we'll see. GG Shaw tries to shoot Wang Liang. Wang Liang is getting cannoned. This is kind of his worst nightmare. He can't get range, but he can use Merciless Havoc for anything entering the doorway, like right here. He's avoiding it. He is still going to be the full focus of this lobby, though, because he is locked into this corner. The moment he walks out, I don't even want to think about it. He's running out of supplies. He's actually in the worst spot than being in that building, not being in that building. He needs to get out ASAP. He is still Merciless Havocing, though. He holds the gold focus to try to put it out, and there's Wang Liang. Oh, my goodness. CDY is just going to be putting the pressure here. This is unfortunate. I think this is Dragon War is going to be a confirmation gold focus clink that GG Shaw knew was going to happen, so he backed off here. Any player that wants to enter it has to have an equal margin of skill in order to do it. And Wang forces his Farius Shen ult. What did I say, guys? Anytime at a Farius Shen ult, where does every single other solo player's weapon switch to? A range weapon. And they'll focus a Farius Shen. They get a clear line of sight of her. They'll just, you know, quick shots. So this means that Wang can't do anything. He has to be offensive, but he can't heal while he's offensive. So it's a trick of the trade. If he's going to be wanting to set the pressure on, he's going to have to be pressured. He can't be pressured. He's going to have to make sure that these guys aren't using the bow shots or looking at him. Wang doesn't have time to heal because he has no heals. If he's going to be forcing all these shroom pops, I mean, that's going to work in the favor of, you know, of getting some tick damage. But like I said, no range damage. Verano, though, gets caught to the Dragon War. Oof, into the zone. Oh, my goodness. CDY looks for the skill rush against Spider. Horizontal comes out. XXY forces his own F2. Arano forces the ult, and that's going to be actually Arano's demise. His poison tick is going to kill him before he even says hello. Yeah, and Arano goes down. Unfortunate, but we're going to see a kill coming out from CDY against Spider. XXY still has one dash left. I'm not sure if he picked the Soul Bloom. He is rocking still one dash, so he is looking to wait this one out against CDY. Holding it is still going to hold it. He has 5 seconds until he decides to want to use that dash. GG Shaw looks into the roof, to the top of this rock face. He will look towards it. He will see Wang Liang's Merciless and not peek it. He wants to wait this one out. No supplies for Wang Liang, though. It's kind of crazy. This man ended up with no armor powders and somehow still sustains this out. Just quick thinking, quick healing, find supplies from a dead body or from remains, and just keeps moving forward. He still has the blue staff, though, to keep this Merciless Havoc going. Scare Rush avoids it. RMB from the pole. Oof. Doesn't want to hit that shroom. He knew exactly not to do that. And a lot of supplies are actually going to be dropped out here. Wang Liang going to find some sort of refuge down there. But up into the top of the hill, we're going to see CDY just trying to keep some airtime here. 40 seconds left on the clock. CDY still has ultimate. 100% CPE ult. Remember what I said earlier? CPE is going to have enough time if she does not get forced out for using the ultimate unless it's the very end. And Wang Liang is going to lock Shaw in a position. V1 coming out from Shaw, though. This is tough. Pitter Patter comes out. The F1 is going to come out. And I don't think that this enchantment is going to come through to benefit Wang. Or GG Shaw in this case scenario. You can see the bottom floor, CDY. He's going to get, caught in a Scare Rush. XXY is eliminated first time. And there's going to be a Shroom here. It's not going to be a purple one, though. And with Wang Liang, you're going to see CDY. He still has a chance, and he gets burned. He gets caught out, and Wang is done. GG Shaw wins this round with 5 eliminations, if I'm not mistaken. And that's huge. For GG Shaw this round, big time. Oh, and he's got a Steel Series mat? Oh, for his mouse only? Hey, this man is gaming. Is he sponsored? All right, we're going to take a look. Let's take a look at the scores real quick. All right, standings for this round. Ooh, so looking at this round, a lot of point displacement, but not as severe-ish as last round, where only the top 4 are really doing. I mean, the top 4 is still ways out, but it's not like as immense as it was last round. The major gameplay changes in terms of placements is having GG Shaw winning this one out with the MVP with 10 points. Rhino gets second place with 9.4. Spider in third with 7 points. We do have Mike having only a 3.8 game, but he's still at the top of the leaderboard, if I'm not mistaken. Wayne Liang is going to have 3.4 in fifth place. Sorry, Mike with 3.8 in fourth. And then we had 2.8 for CDY, XXY with 2.8, Frostbist with 2.7. AS with 1, Pace was 0.5, and Roy Shishi and Jux with the negatives. Or not negatives, but the zeros. Obviously, right now, though, standings are very important for the first half. We ended out the first 3 games are Holleroth. The last 3 games are Morris Isle. And considering that Holleroth does not boister like a lot of the overruled Fireflies as much as Morris Isle, this is where those different picks come into play for rage-based type characters. Or rather, characters that take full advantage of just rotating around and just being able to pick up rage on the fly and taking full advantage of that. Where it's not a game sustain, it's more about being the aggressive. Obviously, right now, you can see the bottom 6 are going to have Juxes in 12th, with Roy Shishi in 11th, AS in 10th, XXY in 9th, Pace in 8th, and Spider in 7th. With 10.2 points, he is going to be trying to get past the Gatekeeper, and I'm curious of who the Gatekeeper is. I don't remember whether or not it was anyone. I think Gigi Shaw was previously tied with 7th and 8th, and if so, that means that Gigi Shaw should shoot up to 3rd with his 10-point game. Possibly. It should be. Well, first off, Great Keeper is Frostbist. Let's get it. 12.3. But he also is preceded by Arana, who did have a massive game that game with that 9.4 game. 12.6 points. Wayne Liang in 4th with the 12.8. GG Shaw as 3rd place. He's going to have 15.6. Wolves' CDY, aka Panda Man, is at 17.1, but Mike, even with a 3.8 game, with those 2 MVP rounds in the first 2 rounds, he's got himself nice and tidy for first place so far. Keeps it up. He's going to be able to keep this the MVP for a round for day 1. And unsure if he's playing for day 2 or 3, but he's got to make sure he keeps it up on this end, because this is the first 3 rounds. We're going to end up in Holleroth to be ended out into Morris Isle. So with that, part 1 is completed. We will have rounds 4 through 6 into part 2. Again, my name is Severio, NBPL caster in general, coming from the YKZ community as well. I'll see you guys into the part 2 and seeing about how this resolves.